All right, so on number 1, here on page 440, letter A, what does the graph reveal about sales in 2018 compared to 2020? What does it reveal about all sales? What does it seem to indicate here, Joshua?
That in 2000 there was more items sold.
Really? It looks to me like there were the same number of items sold or cars sold.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It looks to me like the sales were the same, but what do we observe just right at a glance?
Like sedans.
Way more sedans sold, right? Way more sedans, a lot fewer SUVs, but in 2018, in a world that supposedly cares about the environment more, way more SUVs than cars, right? Because let's face it, deep down what people do, I mean, we don't want to destroy our environment. We care about comfort. And an SUV, pretty comfortable. Sedan, not as much. Let's see, letter B. How many more sedans than SUVs were sold in 2000? Well, first you had to find the number of sedans, class.
195.
I'd say 195. That's what it looks like to me, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then SUVs would be 260 minus the 195, which would be 65.
Wait, what? Wait, isn't it 250?
Oh, 250, excuse me, 250. It doesn't go to 260, 250. Yes, so that would be 55. There we go. And so when we subtract, we get 140 more sedans at this particular place. 140 more sedans than SUVs, letter B. And then number 18, or letter C, in 2018, how many of each were sold, Joshua?
60 sedans and 130 SUVs.
At 130, the whole graph goes up to what number?
250.
250, but 60 of those are sedans. So subtract those 60 sedans away, how many SUVs is that?
190.
190. What did you say?
I had that, but it kind of confused me.
Oh, okay.
The last one
Right, this time it just asks how many of each. So 60 sedans, 190 SUVs. Now, if it had said how many more SUVs, that's 130.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what happened. I gotcha. All right, are we figuring out how to read these stacked graphs? Notice this one's a horizontal stack, if you want to call it that. Number 2, computer lab expenditures. How much was spent on printer ink, Lana? Computer lab using an inkjet.
$492.80.
Good, $492.80, because ink, notice, is 28% of the $1,760. What percent of expenditures was for paper supplies and printer ink? Joshua?
40%.
40%. How much was spent on paper supplies and printer ink, Lana?
$704.
$704. Questions on the circle graph?
It's just on letter A. I had the right answer, I just didn't copy it onto letter A right.
Okay, I got you. All right, so just a copy here. All right, and number 3, rainfall in Miami, Florida from June to August. Which of those 2 years had the most rainfall from June to August? Well, that should be pretty easy, class.
2017.
Yeah.
Definitely 2017, right? The blue never dropped below the red in that little range. During which month each year was rain the highest? Which month each year? Well, what about 2000, class? Which month in 2000, obviously? October. And then not by much, but with which month in 2017?
June.
Looks like June, yep. And then September would have been just behind that, but June, the winning month that year. And which quarter of the year does the least rainfall occur in Miami, Florida? January, February, March, right? That first quarter of the year, very little rainfall. And then as soon as you get to May, well, actually really May even, still pretty low, then the summer months are the rainy months. It's because of all the humidity from the heat, evaporating ocean water, and get lots of convection storms.
I thought it was January, March, and November.
Well, okay, quarter means which 3 months? So there's January, February, March is a quarter. April, May, June is a quarter. July, August, September is a quarter. And then October, November, December is a quarter. Does that make sense? All right, questions on that? All right, go and clear your desks, if you would, please. Except for one clean sheet of paper and a pencil. One clean sheet of paper and a pencil. You're going to do for this quiz 31, pretty much what you did in the homework. You're just going to have to read, I think it's 3, maybe 4 graphs. 1, 2, 3 graphs. You're going to read 3 graphs and answer questions about them. So just a sheet of paper as a cover sheet and a pencil. You may want to do some work on your sheet of paper. Just get your desk cleared there, Lana. And You can do work on your quiz copy, or you can do work on your own paper. It's up to you. All right, so when you get your quiz, put your first and last name in the name spot, and today's date in the date spot. Today is 3/5/21. 3/5/21, today's date. Again, the first page has 2 graphs. You're answering questions about those. When you flip your quiz over, you'll see another graph. You'll ask some questions about those. And then question number 10 doesn't have a graph. It's just a thinking question with a little bit of explanation. All right, you may begin.